Welcome back to the Art of MMA on the Kick and Post YouTube channel. I am your host, Amal Thompson, and I am with,
You were with Roger.
yes, sir. Pretty solid card last weekend. Definitely want to get into Protest JDM because that, obviously has a lot of things that could play off of that fight for the welterweight division. But we're going to hop into, is this one numbered?
It is.
So inefficient by me. UFC 328, Chimaev Strickland in New Jersey. Pretty solid card from the fights I was looking at before we hopped on here. But obviously the main event, we finally get to see Chimaev after. Has it been a year and a half? Feels like it. But I don't think it's been that long. I don't think
it's been that long. I can tell you here in a sec.
Yeah. I might be being a hater a little bit, but we all knew once Chimaev captured the belt, we'd be waiting to see him for a while. And
Yeah.
he's let us wait, but I guess you got to wait for some good things, I suppose. But Prates JDM, I remember we got into a deep discussion about what that fight needs to look like
Yes.
for either fighter to be successful. And I'll let you kind of take the floor first because I have my stance on how it went. But
Okay.
I know you had JDM winning it. What did you feel like he did right? What did you feel like he did wrong? Where did the fight go wrong for him?
Okay. So the fight went surprisingly well when he went to take Prates down. So any grappling exchanges that were done were pretty much won by Madalena. He did not do that often. And Prates in the second round did start to get up some. JDM was having a hard time holding him there. But the ease with which he took Prates down, I think is something Prates needs to fix. Because while he was light years ahead in the striking, which is crazy to say because Jack Della Maddalena that's his forte. And that's what got him to where he was at, was his striking. And to see that the difference was the gap was so wide between Prates and Della Maddalena that it was surprising. But not known for his grappling, he easily took down Prates on multiple occasions, which spells trouble for Prates to get to the very top of the division. I don't see how that happens if someone like Makhachev or even Morales is there. Morales hasn't shown a lot of grappling because he hasn't had to. But if someone with any grappling prowess at all is sitting at the top of that division, I don't see Prates getting ahead unless they get off their game plan. Their game plan to fight Prates should always be to take him down first. It should never be to trade with him. If anybody gets in there and decides they want to trade with Prates, it is not a good idea. Go for the takedown first. Do not try to strike with him. Even if you think you're the best striker in the division, do not try to strike with him. The one exception was Ian Gary. And if Ian Gary gets the title somehow away from Makhachev, then maybe you have a Gary Prates fight, which they've already had. But Prates has probably learned some things, and hopefully he will improve on what he did wrong there. But outside of that, don't strike with Prates. It's a bad game plan. And if you're seeing you're hitting takedowns that easy, keep taking them now. That your whole game plan should be taking them down. And don't say, I hope you watch that. Yeah.
Pain, man. Pain in the ring.
Pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say this? I think he's just very expressive about his pain. When he was in the title fight against Makhachev, he looked like he was in pain. And he looked like he was, like the whole world was coming down on him. I think he's just very expressive in that realm. Which
I'm not
people are
one
not
to
very
not tell a
used
man
to.
to feel his emotions, but
No.
I feel like this is a sport where a poker face is needed at times, and I don't know, man.
Well, that's what we're used to. It's definitely what we're used
I feel
to.
like he throws it. He just wears it all, like you said,
Yeah.
on his face, a very expressive face.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I said what I said before the fight. He didn't do it. Did it a little bit. Had success in those moments. But I say don't stand across from him and try to strike. He did that. and it got to the point where Prates was like, "There's nothing dangerous coming back. I'm just gonna stand in front of you and pick my shots with my hands low, and it's gonna be difficult for you to read." Um, hit him with some shoulder elbows too. That has been a new technique I've seen in the close clinch that
Yeah.
we saw in that first. What was it? It was a prelim fight that really like intrigued us, where he mounted the guy, got on his shoulders, dropped.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
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 Prates got up close in the pretty much clinch and dropped some right in the
Yeah.
upper shoulder, and
That's
obviously
got to be
threw some to the
painful.
face. Yeah.
Because there's not, I mean, you got your traps up there, and
Yep.
but like you got bone,
It's like
like
targeting
all
trap
right in
muscle.
here.
Yeah, targeting trap
Yeah.
muscle, targeting shoulder, uh, uh, obviously just shoulder bones and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
we saw Charles implemented against Max, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just becoming a technique now that, almost like the calf kick, I'm seeing a lot more people implement. And it's interesting that we kind of saw it once, and you're like, I wonder how many people are going to try that. And now over these podcasts, almost, once or twice a month, we're popping back in and being like, huh.
Yeah.
Somebody else added it to the repertoire.
Yep.
So good win for Prates. I think he kind of leaked that he's waiting for that Gary Makachev announcement,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly in Philadelphia, allegedly around his birthday. And then he'll go from there. I think right now the rankings should be probably Makachev versus Gary. Morales waiting in the
Mm-hmm.
wings. But Prates has done a number on his last two opponents to
Yeah, he has.
garner being that third in line. So, but a fun four at the top.
Yeah.
One guy who's left on the outskirts a little bit is Sean Brady, which he's on this card, so we could kind of start hopping into the Chimaev Strickland card, top to bottom.
All right.
And I mean bottom to top. Yeah, we're not starting with the best fight, obviously. But we got Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa in the opening fight. Do you have any overwhelming draws on this one?
No, Ochoa is the favorite in this one. I think he should be. He's lost a couple of them. One of them was to Almabayev, so he's 1-2 in here. But the other one was to Kavanaugh, and what we know about Kavanaugh is that he's a monster.
He is a monster.
He went unanimous decision with him. He got a TK win over Cody Durden. I don't have really strong feelings about this one. Clayton Carpenter does not have an impressive run. He's had a few good wins here, 2 good wins, and then he's lost his last 2. So Ochoa's and it's not a big favorite, but he's the favorite. I mean, I'd go with him if I was going to bet on this fight. I'd probably bet on Ochoa to win, but I don't have any overwhelming, strong commentary on this fight.
Yeah, I'm leaning Ochoa in this one as well. I think the striking is where the difference is, and fights start on the feet, man.
Yeah.
I feel like he's comfortable enough to get in the pocket and trade because he's comfortable enough in his ground game. And he'll get in there and mix it up, and I honestly, I'm taking him to win by a finish, actually. I think his hands are that much better. That's my one draw on that one.
Okay.
We move on to Bysanger Sirsaikayev versus Jordan Santos. Jordan Santos has a little bit of a stay on your feet, bounce around, throw some heavy strikes type of fight. Sirsaikayev did see a little bit of adversity his last one out. Didn't really just, blitz through the guy as expected. He's still a minus 750 favorite, which doesn't leave much room to really get excited. You look at method of victory, everything is, I mean, they're all plus money, which is nice for somebody that big of a favorite. But you just, I don't know. I think he could get the finish, but he does have quite a few tools that, leads me to believe I can't confidently say KO or sub. But I think he gets him out of there before the bell this time, because I think Santos will play a game that allows him to be finished.
So you think Bysanger's going to finish, but not sure on the.
I'm not sure the method, because I think he does have enough tools where if it does go to the ground, he is a decent bit more skilled in that way
Yeah.
to get that completed. I think Santos is just not of the level of Saiserkaev. There's another guy
Right.
that's fighting on this card that he lost to.
Mm-hmm.
That is slower with the
Diaz.
footwork. Yep, slower with the footwork. Will stay in front of you, and he lost unanimous decision to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think his output is high enough uh, to keep saying Saiserkaev guessing 7 significant strikes is good, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not enough. And his average and takedown accuracy is not high either. I think Saiserkaev makes a statement in this one. And it could be sub and it could be finish. I mean knockout. So yeah,
Yeah.
finish I guess is a safe bet at -150. It's just tough.
Yeah. If I'm guessing the way that it finishes, because I do think it's going to finish. I think it's going to finish in Beisanger's favor. Um, Saiserkaev is going to be the one with the advantage in the grappling. I think he's going to be the one, from what I'm seeing from Chimaev's camp, and Beisanger Saiserkaev is in Chimaev's camp. They're
Mhm.
going out with Coach Kyle, and they're training out in California, and I think his cardio is going to be through the roof. So I don't think you're going to be able, and I think you're going to see that with Chimaev too. I think Chimaev, you're not going to see a gas out from Chimaev or Saiserkaev on this card. I think they're both going to um, run through as far as with their just with their fitness. Like you're not going to tire them out, and I think that spells trouble for Santos, because while he might be able to give Saiserkaev some trouble on the feet, I think once Saiserkaev can, land that big shot or get him to the ground, um, I think he's going to submit him once he gets in there. My one thing is Saiserkaev does get hit, and Santos is long and he's lean and he can get you. So, but I think that's more of an outlier. I think if he gets him, it's going to be like caught him with a shot. I don't think it's going to be a um, dominant performance by Santos. I think
Me
that
either.
the performance comes from the fitness and the cardio of Beisanger Saiserkaev, along with the skill to eventually get him down and submit him. I don't expect a fight after round 2. I think it's at least going to be round 2, if not round 1.
Yeah, I don't think it goes past round 2 either.
And this could set up a fight between him and the winner of the Atiba fight later on.
That is true. Which
So,
I don't know if you really want to put that in the atmosphere yet for both these guys. I have a different matchup depending on
okay.
how things go, but we'll
Yeah.
get there. But yeah, we both got Saiserkaev by finish. What it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
do.
think it's probably going
Definitely.
to be a knockout
No, I think it's going to be a submission.
submission
Now, it might lead from the strikes.
from the jump?
He might catch him and drop him and then get down and submit him, but I think it's going to be a submission win.
Plus $500 if you're interested. Just so you know, Saiserkaev by sub.
Am I interested in that? Well, let me just see.
Let me just see. While you look at that, Sabatini, William Gomez. This one, I watched a little bit of extra film on this one because I was
Okay.
a little bit
What do you got?
obviously, like I said last time, been on UFC and MMA TikTok a lot,
Mhm.
and the creators are a little bit split on this one. And I look at William Gomez and I see a fighter with not high volume but interesting distance control. I see a fighter that struggles on the ground to a certain degree. He's not the best
Mhm.
ground guy. Um, I don't think he has elite power, but I think he places his shots in an awkward fashion to where it can get finishes. And
Mhm.
Sabatini is not great with the hands at all. He wants to go to the ground and he wants to submit you. And I've seen him get caught with not so good shots. Sometimes early in fights. It made it difficult for me to pick this one because the odds are quite a distance away. All right, we're good. I let it out. Boom. Yeah. The odds are quite a distance away. So they have Sabatini at minus 230. And I feel if Sabatini endures any exchange with Gomez and gets him on the ground, it's Sabatini by sub 100%. But I just feel like, again, fights start standing up. And I think this is probably one of the better strikers Sabatini's matched up against in a while. It leaves it really hard for me to pick it. I just don't think Gomez's striking is precise enough yet for me to comfortably come in and be like, yeah, he'll come in, put the strikes where they need to land, and get him out of there. There's a significant reach advantage for Gomez. I think there's a significant athletic advantage for Gomez. I just don't trust the accuracy that he goes in with. So I'm taking Gomez still. But very apprehensively. Honestly, in terms of playing this fight, I'd play it with method of victory. I think Sabatini gets it by sub. I don't think it goes to decision. And if I was playing the Gomez side, Gomez by decision and Gomez by KO are very, very heavy odds. Plus 350 for decision. I think plus 600 for KO. So that's kind of, I don't know. It's a little bit more of a toss up than the straight up odds, in my opinion.
Yeah. So are the creators and TikTokers out there, are they taking Gomez in this one, or are they going with the odds with Sabatini?
I think it's 70% Sabatini, but 30% Gomez. Yeah. Which, there's a model that's out there that weighs based on guys like statistics and how they fight, and then they kind of give you like an edge. So for example, we'll get into a fight later. Buckley, Sean Brady, right? And they go through all their statistics and they said if you run this fight 100 times, it's kind of a 50-50 split. But since Buckley is a plus money on this one, you have like a 10% edge based on like stats to kind of just take him straight up, even if you believe, they have their own little like formula. I've seen some people running these, and they've been a little bit split on this one. I just wasn't overly impressed with Gomez's striking. Like that's where they were leaning into in their conversation. So I went back and watched, and I'm like, I don't remember seeing him being like elite in that exchange. He fought one guy we covered recently. I think his name is Rocky. And Rocky's a high pressure guy, and he was in his face the whole fight. I think Gomez pulled it out, but at no point in the fight I was like, oh, he's performing extremely well. Granted, Rocky is a little bit better of a striker than Sabatini. But my bad. It was Rocky Ruchala. Robert Ruchala is who I saw him fight. High pressure in your face, but Gomez didn't do anything that made me go, okay, he's really getting after it here. I don't know.
I'm gonna go a different way than you in this one. I am gonna stick with Sabatini because I think when you see that someone's got an advantage, but it's not like a giant advantage. In one area, and someone else like in the striking, and one has a large advantage in the grappling, I'm going to go with the grappler 9 times out of 10 because it's so easy for the fight to end up on the ground one way or the other. And when that happens, the person who can get on the ground and dominate there is usually going to be able to keep it there. Whereas the striker's going to have a harder time keeping it there, or at least staying off the fence so that they can actually work their strikes. When it's something that's that big of a gap, and I feel like Sabatini probably does have that big of a gap.
I agree
when it comes to the ground. So I'm gonna stick with Sabatini in this one. I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done probably by submission.
I like that.
I don't see it going the distance. But
Sabatini is an offensive wrestler, man. Like, grappler. Like when he gets down there, he's not down there to just lay and pray. He goes for the sub. 9 out of 10 times, and I can see him getting it done against the guys whose submission defense I'm not too confident with. So I like that.
And I don't know much about Gomez's grappling defense, so I don't know if he can withstand that. So I'm going to go with Sabatini. I do think it
Yes.
will be a submission, but I'm not very hard on that.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you were talking about guys who I feel like could be offered up to Sirsakiv, this next one in the early prelims is where I was kind of going. Whoever wins this next fight will probably be Sirsakiv's next fight. Roman Kapilov versus Marco Tulio. Now we go quality of opponent, heavily in favor to Roman Kapilov. Kapilov is taking on the likes of Paulo Costa, Greg Rodriguez, Chris Curtis. That's his last three. Granted, he's dropped his last two, right?
Yeah.
Marco Tulio's best win in his last three is Trishan Gore. Who do you think is favored?
Tulio's favored, isn't he?
Correct. And I'm riding with Roman Kopylov.
Are you really? We are going to do the opposite here.
I am.
I'm going to roll with Tulio.
This is a do or die. I think Tulio is going to exchange with Roman Kopylov. I think we're forgetting that Roman Kopylov does have heavy strikes.
He does have
heavy
strikes,
power. Yeah. And again, we don't want to go based on like who you fought, but to go in there against the killers he's gone in there against, I understand why he's dropped a couple.
Yeah.
And he's gone deep into these rounds with these guys. He hasn't looked amazing, but he's gone deep into these rounds with these guys who we're looking at Paulo Costa, who's probably a light heavyweight contender.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at Gregory Rodriguez, who past this fight, he hasn't seen the third round since he fought Costa. Right? So I think fighting that level of competition and then being brought back down. I'm not trying to disrespect Tulio, but brought back down to a Tulio level fight, is going to remind us why he was in that range, right? I think he can kind of catch his footing again, and I think he takes Tulio out.
Hope he does.
I know you've been a Kapilov guy for years.
Love watching Kapilov fight.
Yes.
I did not like his last fight. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked like from the get-go, he just didn't want to get hit. And I understand the guys he was facing. I mean, he was facing Rodriguez. He was facing Chris Curtis before that. He was facing Costa. So I understand, obviously, not wanting to get hit. But it was kind of blatantly obvious there. And maybe something was wrong. But the way he looked in his last fight, I can't confidently say that he's going to win this fight. And Tulio, this is a big opportunity for him.
It is.
Now, looking at the fights he's had, I don't really have a lot of confidence in him winning, but Kapilov looked so bad in his last one.
He didn't look great.
Maybe the pendulum will swing the other way, but
maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm being too hard on him because he has fought a high level of competition. And when you say that does make me rethink it, because looking to see that he's, Tulio's best opponent was Duncan, and he lost second round KO. I do think if, I would pick Duncan to beat Kapilov, no problem right now. But I don't know. He just looked so bad.
I understand.
In that fight.
I understand the apprehension. I do.
No, give me Kapilov in it. Give me Kapilov. You talked me into it. His level of competition is up there. And I already like him anyway.
I know. I just feel like we can't, there's a reason why he was facing the I'd say the upper echelon of the middleweights. And it's because when they gave him guys who weren't prepared for the moment, he took them out.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we get a little bit of shades of that again. He comes in, he does his job, he gets the guy out, and then he gets offered to Bystander Sirsakiv, which is not a good fight for him. But anyway, you got to do what you got to do as a company, man. you win your fight, and then you get offered to the next guy who they want to be a big deal. So that closes out the early prelims and gets us into the actual prelims, where we get the Unk fight, 42-year-old Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon at 37.
I'm so excited for this fight.
I think it'll be a fun fight for sure. I think in terms of finishing, Jared Gordon has the ability to potentially finish this fight, but Jim Miller is very, very durable. Jim Miller is a nifty vet. I feel like his path to victory is to make this sloppy, take this to the third round, or potentially get this on the ground in some form or fashion and try to get a slick submission.
Mm-hmm.
I am riding with Jared Gordon in this one, probably by finish.
Finish.
Yeah, I think he gets him out of there. I think they get into an exchange and he lands something heavy in the pocket and gets him out of there. Yeah, that's how I'm probably gonna ride with it.
I think you could be right on that one, but because Father Time catches up with everybody, the
Exactly.
toughness of Jim Miller
He's super tough.
makes me think that that he's going to have that edge against Jared Gordon. Not saying anything bad about him, just the level of toughness we've seen out of Jim Miller.
He's a tough guy.
He's renowned for it. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jared Gordon in this one too. I mean,
him to take to decision is plus 100, so they expect it to be that. But I think if it goes to decision, Jim Miller wins. If Jim Miller,
yeah,
I mean, he could be whooped on for 3 straight rounds and lose, kind of like what King Green did to him. But I feel like Jared Gordon would be a little bit more intentional by trying to get him out of there.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm still going to give the edge to Jared Gordon. Even at a decision, but I could see Jim Miller eking out a decision in this. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it does anything but decision. I don't think you get a knockout or submission in this.
So it goes all the way?
All the way. And I'm going to go with Gordon to win it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. This fight's fairly even on the books, right? Minus 180, plus 25. There's not like crazy amount of juice on either side.
Yeah.
Grant Dawson's interesting from a who he's fought perspective. I think he has a loss to Manuel Torres, who's on a bit of a run. Before that, had 3 wins in a row. He lost by KO to King Green in 2023. Shots at King Green.
Yeah.
And then Rebecki dropped his last 2 to Chris Duncan and Klein, and he lost to Oralby in 2024.
No, he beat Oralby.
I mean, he beat Oralby in 2024.
That's the one I was just looking at. Like, of all the people that he's fought, he beat Oralby.
Yeah, I know.
That's a big win.
Have you looked to see who's favored on this one?
In the Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson's favored in it, right? Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Grant Dawson, but I don't. Again, I don't necessarily go into it very confidently for either guy.
Grant Dawson is a higher level fighter who has not realized his potential yet. I feel like.
I like it.
He's got the grappling, and he's got striking and he's got grappling. He's kind of got the total package as far as being able to do it. It's just executing in the big fights. And while Mateusz is good and he's going to be a tough fight for him, I think Grant Dawson's going to be too big. Now, if you're telling me that this is a big fight for him, on a huge stage, and it is a big stage, don't get me wrong, but he's not headlining or something like that. Headlining or something, I would take Rebecki in this one. I haven't seen Grant Dawson overcome in the big moments, but when he's not in the big moment, he's killing it. So I feel like he's going to do the same here, and he's a favorite for a reason in this one, and I'm going to go with him.
I'll take the Grant Dawson side as well.
I'm gonna take it for. I would take it for a submission, if I'm giving an opinion on it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take Grant Dawson as well. I don't necessarily have that level of decisiveness on it yet, but I'm taking him to win. A guy who I do think is gonna win by submission though. Yaroslav Amosov versus Joel Alvarez.
Who do you think is gonna win by submission?
Amosov is gonna submit Joel Alvarez.
Okay.
I think he is an elite level grappler. I don't think he has high output. I do think Alvarez has the advantage on the feet. But I think Yaroslav Amosov is going to be durable, and some way, somehow, this fight is going to get on the mat, and that's where he'll shine, and he'll take him out via submission. I don't have a specific technique in mind. I just know he gets him, and I think it'll be a good fight for however long the fight lasts. But give me Yaroslav Amosov by sub.
Okay. So I was looking at this fight last night, and I was just checking a couple of notes on it in here. Amosov's only had one fight in the UFC, correct? I
Correct.
think it's just the one fight, and he won by
Correct.
submission, right?
Correct.
Alvarez
Neil Magny.
has and that's a good one when it beat Neil Magny.
By sub, yeah.
If it goes to the ground, Amosov all the way.
Yes.
If Alvarez can keep it on the feet, Alvarez by knockout.
Okay.
Knockout TKO. Alvarez is a killer with his hands. But he's not prone to win the decision. And so, being that he's not prone to win the decision, if he gets in a dogfight and Amosov is able to keep him against the cage or put him down to the ground, I think Amosov is going to do it. So whoever is able to implement their game plan, I know that's the case in everything, but sometimes you have such a clear victor in this. If it stays on the feet, I'm going with Alvarez because Amosov's output on the feet is so low.
It's very low.
I don't even think it's a fight there. But if Amosov can get in there and get him taken down, and honestly, I think that he will. I think he will get in there, and I think he will take him down. He's so strong on the ground that I'm going to go with Amosov in this one. Don't really have much of a choice because, I'm like I said earlier, I'm going to go with the grappler in a lot of these situations. But if Joel Alvarez has defensive grappling and can keep it up on the feet, don't be surprised to see a knockout here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what Yaroslav's Amosov chin
no idea
is like. And at 29-1, it leads me to believe that he can take a shot.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I don't know enough. And maybe this is the fight where we find out like what's there. Like what does he have?
Yeah.
He seems durable.
Mm-hmm. His record shows that, I think.
Yeah.
But Alvarez is so good with that knockout. He's so good getting that TKO. That I can see the odds being this close in this fight. I was wondering why it was so close because Amosov was such a dominant force in his first one. He has such a good reputation. He was a big get for the UFC.
He was.
And so 29-1 coming in from the Ukraine. He was a big get, and then I saw the odds were as close as they were. So I had to relook at this fight and see why. And I think it's the output of Amosov on the feet versus the TKO knockout ability of Alvarez that makes this fight so close. Because if he can defend that wrestling, then he can really make it a fight. So I expect this one to be either very boring or very explosive. One of the two.
I get that.
Yeah.
This next one, I think we're gonna get shades of exciting again.
Okay.
Atiba Gauthier versus Ozzy Diaz. Now we saw Atiba Gauthier not only make it out of the first round, but go to a decision in his last one against Chimaev, right? And we said things in that one about him potentially staying on the front foot a little bit longer, him having that closer's instinct that he usually had, and how we kind of felt, that he was trying a little bit too hard to show that he could fight patiently and get it done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Ozzy Diaz, I think he's going to learn from that and come back with the style of Atiba that we've seen previously.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a point to kind of remind MMA fans where he is and what he's known for on this card. And I don't see it making it out of the first round.
Okay.
I think he's going to close the distance. I think he's going to drop Ozzy like he's dropped everybody in the first round. But I think he's going to close and finish.
Instead of trying to drag it out.
Yep. And instead of backing off and being patient.
Yeah.
Or allowing the ref to decide what's happening. He's going to go close it out. First round finish is minus 185. I'll never tell anybody to take first round finish at minus money. But it might be a good bet. Because him to win is minus 1,400.
Yeah, he's the biggest favor on the card, right?
Don't even do that. Yeah. But I think we're not going to have a long one here. I think Ozzy Diaz is the type of opponent that allows for Atiba to do what he does. Atiba is extremely faster. And yeah, we go with that, and Atiba takes him out, and we move on to the main card. What do you see?
I am concerned, highly concerned for Ozzy Diaz in this fight for one simple reason. He fought, what was his name? He was on the card earlier. Jordan Santos. And his retina became detached. He won the fight. He kept going. He's tough. But his retina was detached. That's why he had such a long layoff between his last fight and this one. He was actually supposed to fight this past year, I think in October, and he didn't. I think he was actually supposed to fight Atiba, and he had to have like a third eye surgery or something. But he had like 3 of them on his eye. So from that perspective, with how hard Atiba hits, I'm concerned for the man putting him in there. But Atiba is only 6'4", right? Gets down to 185.
Only.
Guess who else is 6'4"?
Ozzy Diaz.
Ozzy Diaz is 6'4". He's not going to have the height advantage in this one, like he has in a lot of his opponents. Ozzy Diaz hits hard. He can swing him, and he's fighting out of King's MMA, which has one of the best striking coaches on the planet. Atiba's going to put him down. As far as
you can't coach power.
Wait, well, Ozzy's got power too, but Atiba's just got a next level power. He puts people down. Hopefully, for Diaz, he can make this fight, and his skill with the hands is going to keep him in it. And hopefully, he'll push Atiba, because I really want Atiba to get pushed. I don't want it to be a first round finish. I love those exciting first round finishes. But he didn't convince me last time that he's a top level talent all around yet. His hands definitely top level. So I want to see as far as like his power is top level. Yeah. But I want to see his skill improve. I want to see Ozzy push him. And I want to see if we've got some improvement there. He's young enough that he should still be making, big improvements. And so I want to see
24.
Yeah. I want to see that happening.
Check his papers, please.
I don't know, man. I do give the speed advantage to Atiba. I give the power advantage. No matter how hard I say Diaz hits, Atiba still has the power advantage. So I'm going to go with him in this fight. I am going to say that I'm going with Diaz to make it longer than a first round fight. I think he stays in it. I think he makes it to at least the second round. I would not be surprised to see this go all the way. I don't know the grappling of Diaz very well. I think Atiba is working on a lot of good defensive grappling. Yes. I think we saw that in his last fight where he was making some strides in that. So I do think if he's continued on that, Atiba to get this one, it'll go at least into the second round is my prediction. Could see it go all the way.
Atiba's second round is plus 450, by the way.
Hey.
Atiba by decision is plus 850. Just so you know.
I mean, Diaz is tough, but I mean, there's a reason those odds are what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a big win here for Atiba really propels him up into main cards and stuff now because he's headlining the prelim on this. He really needs an opponent with a name after this if he wins this, especially if he wins it in spectacular fashion. He's got to have an opponent with a name. He's got to eventually take that next step. And I know he's 24, but to say he eventually needs to make it, he's been in the UFC for what, 2 years now, 3 years? So
2, I think.
he needs to take that next step after this fight if this is a spectacular win or even a dominant win. If it's a so-so win, then okay, I can see you holding him back for another fight or two. But
It's been about a year, and the Contender Series win was September 17th, 2024, so
okay,
close to 2 years technically, if you're counting that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Atiba is on a crash course with somebody on this card. I could
mm-hmm.
see Atiba getting offered Roman Kapilov if Kapilov wins. I could see him being offered a Marco Tulio if Tulio wins or loses. I think Tulio could fit for both of those no matter where he's at.
Yeah,
With his record being only 14-3 if he loses, obviously 15-2 if he wins. I could see him getting a Jordan Santos
mm-hmm.
if he loses. There's matches to make for him because you're still trying to build his W's in comparison to his L's, right? You want to get it up there before you really drop him into some of the bigger middleweight fights where you expect him to probably get challenged more. So yeah, they'll find somebody for him. I think he wins though. No offense to Ozzy Diaz. I think even if it ends up being a similar fight to the last fight, you're aiming to not get hit by him for most of the fight, and you probably get dropped a couple times, even if it gets into the second or the third. But yeah, I'm comfortable taking Atiba. And in terms of Verdict MMA, where I do pick fights, had a pretty good weekend last weekend too. I'm probably gonna still take Atiba by first round KO.
Okay.
Cause yeah. Onto the main card: King Green, Jeremy Stephens. 39-year-old King Green versus 39-year-old Jeremy Stephens. King Green on a bit of a renaissance since his, terrible performance against Gibson Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
where it looked very ugly.
Yeah.
But after the Paddy Pimblett sub and the Ruffy knockout, he takes out Zell Huber via KO after a split decision versus Gibson Jr. Gibson Jr. might have been a little bit better than we thought, or maybe Chase Hooper is a little bit worse than we thought. I'll leave you to decipher how that goes. But what do you feel like King Green is going to do against Jeremy Stephens here?
Well, I think you're looking at one way or the other. There's going to be a knockout in this fight. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think either one of these guys is going to let it go. I think Jeremy Stephens, power puncher, hard hitter, and King Green, heavy puncher, hard hitter.
Yes.
And they both have a bit of a wrestling background. But they both love to strike. I think you see this one on the feet the whole time. It's whoever catches who first. I do believe King Green has a speed advantage.
I agree as well.
I'm going to ride with King Green in this one because I feel like he has that advantage. I do feel like, and this is one of the opposite ones from what I said before, I feel like is going to want to knock out. And I think because of that, it's going to get him in trouble. And instead of using his wrestling advantage he has, I think he's going to stay on the feet and he's going to get caught.
So you think he's going to push the effort on the feet instead of taking the advantage as a grappler and get finished by King Green?
Yep. And I do think you have a knockout in this fight.
I'm not going to argue that. I think King Green's speed, I think the confidence as well. He's built himself back up a little bit in his last couple. The bravado's back, the all of that's back.
Yeah.
And I feel like against somebody like Jeremy Stephens, he could really take advantage of that and get him out of there, He stood in the pocket with a Zell Huber who, was supposed to have a speed advantage, have the advantage on the feet, and took him out of there. And I don't think King Green, I don't think Jeremy Stephens offers too much in terms of counter punching, where if King Green gets, in his zone and comfortable, that he can't take him out. So King Green at plus 240 is a very, very interesting line for the KO.
Plus 240. Okay.
For the KO. Yeah.
Yeah.
For decision, it's plus 130. But he's favored minus 325 to plus 240, which I prefer to go method of win for that one if I'm gonna lose money on King Green. Put it that way.
Okay.
Joaquin Buckley, Sean Brady. This is intriguing because you've been
Very.
hanging out with the grappler, you know, trusting the grappler, the wrestler over the person who might have the advantage on the feet. Do you feel the same about this one?
How tall is Joaquin Buckley? Do you know?
I could tell you, Joaquin Buckley's 5'10". Sean Brady's also 5'10".
Hmm.
Tough, ain't it?
It's so heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I want to see Buckley win this. I'm gonna go with Sean Brady in this one
Okay.
because I think
He is favored.
because of the wrestling advantage, Buckley I don't think is going to be able to keep his hips back like Morales could.
Okay.
And I think that was a huge advantage for Morales. While Buckley is probably going to have the reach advantage, if I remember correctly, Sean Brady does not have a long reach. And so it's possible that he can keep him at bay the same way Morales did. If I were him, that would be my go-to to keep the hips back and the hands forward to
Yes.
kind of keep him at distance and then throw at will.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be harder to do that for Buckley than it was for Morales. So, oh man, Joaquin Buckley is he's good and he's strong, he's powerful. Is Brady going to be able to take him down? I mean, Brady's not weak. Brady's a strong guy himself, but is he going to be able to take down Buckley like that? It is a tough one. It is a tough one, and I think the odds have it pretty close, right? I know Brady's the
Yeah.
favorite,
Sean
but
Brady minus 160. Joaquin Buckley plus 130.
I'm really feeling Buckley in this one, but my brain is telling me Brady.
Well, I'm feeling Buckley and I'm taking Buckley.
Okay.
And here's why.
Tell me why.
I go through the who's of Sean Brady's last few fights, right? Submission win against Leon Edwards. Great win. At the time where he beats Leon Edwards, not the same Leon Edwards. And I think obviously there's a little bit of revisionist history, but now that we know, not as good of a win as we expected. Submission win against Kevin Gastelum.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a good win on paper.
Yeah.
It was 2023, so not crazy. But Gastelum, since fighting Sean Brady, maybe you could call it the Sean Brady curse, but Pie for unanimous decision him. Luque subbed him. He beat Stovzas and Daniel Rodriguez. So do with that as you will. Bilal Muhammad KO'd him. I'm going to repeat that. Bilal Muhammad KO'd Sean Brady.
Yeah.
When's the last time Bilal Muhammad's KO'd anybody?
I think Sean Brady.
Yep.
And before that, I don't know if he has.
Okay. Yep. Just saying.
Yeah.
So I look at these things, and the last striker with range and power finished him in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Unique situation. That guy should be probably fighting at light heavyweight, but range and power got him out of there last time. Now he's going against a Joaquin Buckley, who I look at his last who's of who he's fought. Kobe Covington's kind of a shell of himself. Stephen Thompson, good range, but has a propensity to be finished. Finished Luque, who's on a run since that fight.
Yeah.
Ruzabayev has been, unfortunately, in everybody's wins and losses, kind of, but he's been on a run since that Buckley fight as well. Hasn't fought amazing talent, but he's on a bit of his run himself. And then he lost to Usman in a 5-round unanimous decision.
Yeah.
Both these guys have been tested against a version of each other in their last fight. And one guy sustained You could say sustained, but I don't think Usman was going for submissions. One guy sustained a type of pressure that I feel like Sean Brady likes to implement on his fighters, and started to adjust and learn a little bit at the back end of the fight. One guy got finished in like 45 seconds. I lean with the guy with the punching power and the range, who probably went against one of the better wrestlers. You said it yourself, I think. One of the better wrestlers in the welterweight division. I think you called him the best wrestler in the welterweight division in that pod, actually. Usman. I have it clipped.
No, we were talking.
I don't know if I could find it. I don't know if I could send it back. I have it clipped. I could just go back and look for the clip.
We brought Usman up when we were talking about somebody else being such a good wrestler in that division.
You called him the best wrestler in the division.
He might
and
be
I said
the best.
Makachev. I said Makachev is in that division. I have the clip. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I have history. I could just send it to you after the pod.
I do think Usman is a better wrestler than Makachev, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we put.
But who were we talking about? We were talking about somebody else, though.
Remember, I just know that he
out-wrestled
Buckley.
It
might have even been Brady, but either way.
No, it was not Brady. It was not Brady because Brady's a BJJ guy. I don't put him in as a wrestler.
You don't put him in as a wrestler? Okay.
They're two different things.
Two different styles.
Yeah.
I say all that to say this, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust the guy who started figuring out getting up off the ground and being more confident in that adjustment than the guy who has recently been KO'd against a guy with range. The first real puncher he fought in a bunch of fights, and who is now on the outskirts of that championship pedigree, guys aiming for that belt, and needs to do something to get back in that range. He's going to have to take risks, I think, in this fight to put himself in the conversations about a belt. Now, I guess the one thing I could say is Sean Brady's made it very clear he doesn't care about a belt. His words kind of not mine, right? And maybe that will lead him to approach this fight in a very Kamaru Usman way, and you only have to do it for 3 rounds. Keep him on the ground, keep him at bay, stay away from his weapons. But I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be able to land something to really get this fight out of there, and I'm taking Joaquin Buckley by finish.
I can see it very much.
Specifically by KO.
By KO. Round 1?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say round 1. I think the first exchange that's like a serious exchange will be a finish. I think if he actually clips him, he'll complete the job. It won't be a Patty, Justin Gaethje type situation where you keep being like, ooh.
Yeah.
And watch him get back up and be like, ooh. You know what I mean? It's going to be a done deal. And I think at plus 130, I'm comfortable taking that straight up too. I just feel like if it goes to decision, that means we probably had quite a few takedowns. And Sean Brady by decision is probably a very, very good. Nope, never mind. Plus 190 for that. Leave that alone. I think Sean Brady by decision is probably how he goes if it goes his direction. But I think Buckley finishes it.
Okay. I'm not mad at that because I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
It is a tough one. I see what you're saying with the Morales, the heavy punching. But Brady's been in there with some tough guys, and he ends up on the top most of the time. And
until he doesn't.
I mean, his wins have been greatly outweighed his losses in this, and I do see where
I just feel like his wins have aged poorly. As one guy's wins has aged better when I go through the list.
I could see that if it were more recent. He hasn't fought a lot lately. He's gone 2023, like one fight in 2023. He had one fight in 2024. And then he had two fights in 2025. So he hasn't fought a lot. He doesn't fight very often. No, this is Brady.
Brady,
yeah. The only fight where he's never had more than 2 fights in a year. At least not in the UFC. So he doesn't fight.
He needs to sign up for RAF, honestly.
Nah, he wouldn't make it.
Dang. This is the guy you're picking to win?
Yeah.
I'm just talking. I'm
Well,
just talking.
he would make it. I don't know. I don't know his full grappling background. I know he's known to be super good at BJJ. Um, Maybe he's got a good wrestling background in there that I'm not aware of. Um, I just know he's renowned for his BJJ. Um, and those guys are not as good at the takedowns. But I do think that he's working with guys that are, and so I think that he'll um, he'll be okay. Um, yeah, he does not have a wrestling background. So it's going to be tough for him to get in there against Joaquin Buckley, who does have a wrestling background. But the BJJ is going to be squarely on Sean Brady in the advantage. It's a tough one. I'm going to go with Brady, but it's not I want to see Buckley win it, but I'm going to go with Brady. I like Buckley as a
I
fighter
understand.
better than I like Brady as a fighter. I like to watch him a lot better.
I understand.
I'm not a big fan of watching Sean Brady. It's just not entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yeah. So I want to see Buckley win, but I'm gonna go with my mind is saying Sean Brady, and I'm gonna go with that.
Nice. All right. Well, we move on to this next one: Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. And I know we talked about this one a little bit off camera. I went back and did a little bit of research, and I might have a different take. I was heavily on the Volkov side for a while because I feel like, again, his pitter-patter style, his comfortability on the feet, could lead him to eking out like a decision win in this one potentially. Maybe even like overtime working Waldo's defenses down, maybe getting him out of there. But I think, funny enough, Volkov's path to victory for this one is to shoot takedowns. Waldo Acosta has fought 5 fighters who's had above, I think, a 4 significant strike per minute range, and he's 4-1 against those fighters. He likes fighting guys who like to stand and bang, and like to throw high volume.
Yeah,
he's very successful in those fights, and he is the younger fighter. He is the faster fighter. I don't know about the gas tank necessarily in terms of being better, because Volkov done it against some of the best. And when you look at recent performances, Volkov has not had good recent performances.
No.
Love Volkov, but he lost his last fight to Almeida. Don't care that it says a W. He lost his last fight to Almeida. He lost to Gon. Unanimous decision to Pavlovich, like submitting to Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah.
Doesn't move me. And again, all respect to Volkov. Been doing it for years. Great heavyweight. But I think this is a shifting of the guard, and getting Waldo Acosta at plus money, I feel like you do have to side on the edge of that's good value as well.
Yeah.
If you're approaching the books, I think it is by finish. I don't think this goes to decision. I've seen Volkov get finished before. And I think Waldo Acosta gets in exchange with him, gets in the pocket, and KOs him. And Waldo Acosta to finish him is plus 500. Voya.
Hold on.
Hey, Voya. Where's the number? Voya.
Hold on. Stop the pod.
Stop the pod. We need to get that in immediately.
He's plus?
Waldo Acosta to finish Alexander Volkov is plus 500.
No, it ain't.
I swear it is. I feel like you take that straight. Because I think if this goes to decision, that's Volkov's win, most likely, based on volume. I think if Waldo gets enough volume on Volkov, he's going to finish him. Am I wrong in thinking that? Do I not know anything about fighting?
Say that again.
If Waldo gets enough activity to put shots down range, right? If we believe Waldo's going to win and he gets enough punches on Volkov, he finishes Volkov, right? Am I mistaken in that belief?
No, the thing that they said about him that has stuck with me when he fought Delija, somebody mentioned it, his baseball background. If you can pitch a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you can daggone punch. And that's what he's been doing. they've kind of went over his baseball background, but he is the more athletic fighter in this. He loves to stand and bang. He will get hit, but
Yeah.
I don't think Volkov has the power to put him down, whereas I think Acosta is going to floor him. I just put it, you told me plus 500 and I went straight to it.
You said I'm right there.
Bro,
I'm right there.
it might not be plus 500 when
the pod ends,
when they start the fight, but it is now, and I'm gonna take it. We'll see if that's a good pick or not, but I believe that Waldo Acosta has that power. He's got the power in his hands. I don't think there's any question. He's been the more active fighter. He's on a mission to win this, and I just don't think Volkov can stand up to it. I think he's going to get hit and get overwhelmed.
I really don't see how it's plus 500 for that.
This fight for me is not even a question on who the favorite should be. If I'm being honest, I think it should be Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think that's who the favorite should be in this fight, and the fact that he's not is he's just not even plus. He's not even favored to win the fight.
He's not.
I think you put
Ain't
him.
That crazy?
Yeah, I think you put him against Volkov Volkov, and he just overwhelms him. I don't even think that Volkov can get him to the ground. I think if he tries, I don't even think he's going to get him to the ground.
You think it's over if he tries?
No, I don't think it's over if he tries, but I think that he's going to get stood up real fast. I don't think Acosta is going to get taken down by Volkov. I don't think he's good enough to do it. So I do like Volkov. I think that he is the preeminent example of someone who has made leaps and bounds in his career. He was not very good when he was signed compared to the rest of the field. And he's a top-tier fighter now. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to withstand Cortez Acosta. I think the recent movement by Cortez Acosta has proven that it is not a fluke what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's very accurate. He's a very hard hitter. And people that should be able to take him down and take him out have not been able to do so. And I don't think Volkov is any different. If he were an elite grappler, then I would maybe go with him in this, but I don't think he is. And while he's made leaps and bounds, and I love to see the progression that guy has made, I think Cortez Acosta is going to be too much for him. Yet if he's not, great, Volkov gets another shot at the title probably.
I think so. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's possible.
I think it's a race to a championship before Gable Steveson comes in. And
I was heavily on Volkov last night, as we spoke about, and the more I thought about it and the little bit of research I did after we left, I was like, I might be viewing this wrong. And I've seen somebody with less output. Granted, it was a Hail Mary shot, put him out. I've seen him get, unanimous decisioned, gifted.
Mm-hmm.
But like Almeida had his way in the grappling, and I see him get comfortable exchanging with people.
Yeah.
And I don't think he could get comfortable exchanging with this guy.
Mm-mm. No.
And I didn't realize that plus 500. Like, I'm very tempted to do something very stupid and put quite a bit on that plus 500 finish. Like, we're talking don't you for free for months,
bro.
You know what I mean? We're talking beef stew, beef hearts,
dude.
You know what I mean? We're talking fried yuca with the spicy cream sauce.
Lomo down.
All because of Waldo Cortez Acosta. They're gonna see me, know me by name. Put the order in.
Put the order
in. Yeah, put the order in. 30% tip on the bill. Thank you, Waldo Acosta. Plus 500 for a heavyweight finish when all he does is check chins? Maybe I don't know fighting.
No, listen, he came on the scene when he had been on the scene. I'd seen him fight quite a bit, but when that Delija fight changed everything for him. And then he took another fight and then another fight and then,
maybe they're going like competition for competition, because like
Maybe.
Sergey Pavlovich beat him in 3 rounds, and Volkov beat Sergey Pavlovich in 3 rounds. Sergey Spivak beat him. He beat Sergey Spivak unanimous decision, didn't finish him. Maybe they're looking at those early 2025 fights. But I think this guy has found a new level of confidence in these last 3. And granted, it's not the same level of competition as like a Volkov, but I think finding your confidence in these last 3 matters. And I think one guy's ascending, and one guy, again, has W's.
Yeah, but
this one wasn't a W. It was not.
No.
He's lost back-to-back fights, people. This is the trick.
Yeah.
See, this is the juice. Sometimes you get gifted.
Yeah.
It says he won 4 of his last 5. He didn't. He lost his last 2. He did. I was there. I watched it. And I hated the guy he was fighting. And it was very clearly a win for Almeida.
And you were very happy.
I was very happy. I've never celebrated a robbery that much. Granted, I was holding a Volkov by decision ticket, but I've never celebrated a robbery that much.
Yeah.
I think it gets finished, and I think it's tough. I think it's tough scenes, and I think I text Roger emoji with money sign and smiley face with money sign tongue coming out of his mouth after Acosta gets the job done. But we move to the co-main, Tetsuro Taira versus Joshua Venn. My goodness. The combined age of these fighters is 50. So they're barely older than you, Roger. Haha. Jab.
Together. What a jerk. What a guy.
Jab. 4-year-old Joshua Venn, flyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Flyweight champion. Is going against Tetsuro Taira.
Yeah.
18-1, 26-year-old phenom who they've been trying to get in this title fight real early. They wanted him in this title fight so quick, right? Brought him into the UFC, gave him a couple people to knock out, put him against Brandon Royval. He got split decision against Brandon Royval, and then has gone on to beat Park and Brandon Moreno. Now hear me out. Joshua Venn is plus money in this one. They have a common opponent.
Yeah, they do.
One guy has the belt. Why is my boy plus money in this one? Why are we disrespecting Joshua Venn? I understand Tetsuro Taira is fast. I understand all the metrics. He's supposed to be the guy. They've been waiting for him to get into this level of fight.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Venn doesn't deserve to have the belt. They have a common opponent.
They do have a common opponent.
And Venn washed him. It was a good fight.
It was,
but I would say Venn washed him. I think Royval was chasing at the end there, but I think Venn really got up on the cards and watched him. It was 3 rounds. If it was 5, maybe it's a different story. Granted, when Royval and Tetsuro Taira fight, it was 5. Right? I believe the shots coming from Venn are harder. I believe the volume that he strikes at is higher. Right? I think the method of victory here for Tetsuro Taira is to try to finish him via submission. I feel like he has to approach this fight in a way that Pantoja wanted to, which is if you could get this to the mat, Joshua Venn is severely under-skilled in that practice compared to Tetsuro Taira and guys of that level who have way more fights under their belt, right? Taira has 8 submission wins in his in his fighting career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so he's very comfortable on the ground.
He's very well-rounded. Very well-rounded.
Yeah, very well-rounded guy, right?
Yeah.
I think standing in exchange with Venn would be a terrible decision. Vann's 5'5", Tetsuro Taira's 5'7". I don't know. I feel like if Tetsuro Taira approaches this in a educated way, he'll use his hands to get to the ground. But I fear for Tetsuro's chin against Venn, with how much volume Venn will be throwing back in the pocket. This fight is kind of a stay away fight for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking me to pick, I'm gonna go with my plus money champ. Give me Venn to prove to everybody that he is the champ, and defend his belt, and say, "Hey, Pantoja, your elbow's fixed. Come back and get a real one. Maybe you learned to take a fall," which he has been shifting his take on that a little bit. He said, "If you're a black belt, you know how to stop a fall." I can't argue that. I can't argue that. He's not wrong. Granted, it's not like the most appealing defensive warrior champ, but he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He pushed him over. He made a silly mistake, right? Because if he doesn't put his arm down, who knows what happens? The pushover could have led to him falling on his head. And then if he had knocked himself out that way, nobody would have been like, oh, Joshua Van didn't earn the belt.
Right.
It's just funny, the shift in mentality on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think if they get into the pocket, just the speed of Van's hands as well. I know Tetsuya Taira has been being praised for his speed a lot. Van goes speed and volume.
He does.
I think he could kind of get there and keep his belt. And at plus money, I'm okay backing him.
So,
what says you?
I'm going to read you a little bit of their stats on this. But I want to check something first. Okay, good. Joshua Van, Tetsuya Taira. I have to get back to it. Hold on. Where I'm at. Nope. Van's striking accuracy is 57%. Taira's is 60%. Takedown accuracy is 47% for Taira, 64% for Van. He takes people down at a higher rate. Taira's strikes per minute landed 2.94 and absorbs 2.44. So pretty good defense on it. Van's strikes per minute 8.84. Now he absorbs 6.339. I bet you most of those were Brandon Royval. Takedown defense is 81% for Van. Taira is very well-rounded. He's had a lot of submission wins. He's had a lot of knockout wins. When I look at this fight, I'm looking at the ability for this fight to go on the ground versus the ability for Van to keep it standing. If this fight is fought on the feet, Taira can knock people out. He's shown that. He's done it. Van can also knock people out and be knocked out. But with the volume coming towards Taira's way, I got to give Van the advantage in this fight. Submission is I could see him being submitted. I could see Joshua Van.
I could see him getting knocked
being
out
submitted
too,
or knocked out because he does absorb punches more. He takes more punches than Taira does. So if Taira can make him miss and get a takedown, he can submit him on the ground. I think that's his path to victory. If we're looking for this fight to go for Taira, I think making him miss on the punches, getting the takedown, and submitting him is the way to go. He's going to be harder to take down than you realize.
Yes.
Taira could get gifted in an off balance, something like that, or even if he puts him on the ground, because Joshua Van does get hit. So if he gets put on the ground and then it goes to the ground after that, I think Taira's got the victory. But with a takedown defense, it's going to be hard for Taira to actually get the takedown. And I think with a takedown defense like Van has, he should be able to keep it on the feet. And him being able to keep it on the feet, I think gives him a clear advantage on the strikes. It gives him the advantage to win by decision, and it gives him the advantage to get the knockout. Because while Taira can knock you out, he's not throwing as many punches. So the amount of times one's going to hit to knock you out is going to be lower than Van's. Van has a higher likelihood of knocking you out just because he sheerly throws more punches. And so I think with his takedown defense, I think that he's going to be able to keep Taira off of him. I think he's going to be able to land the knockout. And if it doesn't go knockout, I think it's going to go decision. And I think Van wins that decision. That's my personal opinion.
I think Van has taken more heavy punches. I don't want to disrespect Tetsuya Taira, but I think Van getting knocked out by Charles Johnson, I think Charles Johnson might be a heavier puncher, potentially, than Tetsuya Taira. Just straight power
Mhm.
again. Just straight power. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this goes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna see Van go 5 rounds, but I'm okay with a Van finish.
Mhm.
In terms of if you want to play that, Van by decision is heavily juiced and is intriguing because Tessera Tyra's only loss has come by a 5-round decision loss.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing matchup for sure. I just know that I'm backing Van in this one. But it should be a very evenly matched fight, which the odds do say it is. Now on to the main card. The main event on the main card. Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland.
Mhm.
Now, this fight has a bunch of directions it could go, man. I think we're gonna see a very motivated Chimaev. I think Sean Strickland's done everything to kind of try to get in his head. I don't think that's gonna work the same way it's expected to. Right? You don't want to start comparing fighters from areas too much, right? But
Mhm.
Khamzat Chimaev has been disrespected consistently in the media from Sean Strickland, who is someone he's trained with before. Right? So, people are seeming to think that this is just going to be a Chimaev try to wrestle, Strickland try to stop the wrestling,
Mhm.
Strickland better at the hands, allegedly, right? And Chimaev struggling for 5 rounds to find his way if Sean Strickland wins. I think we could see a return of an uber aggressive Khamzat Chimaev. I think everything in his being is going to be to blitz him early, threaten him with the takedown. But Chimaev has power in his hands. He does. And I feel like we tend to forget that. Now, obviously, the method is still to try to take him down. But I think Chimaev is going to be a little bit more aggressive in his striking this time, off the back that Sean doesn't want to get taken down. If I'm taking a method of victory, because I'm taking Chimaev, no offense to Sean Strickland, I think that the level of ferocity that Chimaev is going to present is not going to allow Sean Strickland to get in his groove. I see this. If it's 5 rounds, it's very similar to Duplessis Chimaev,
Mhm.
where it's just quick blitz at the start of every round, get you on your back, or attempt to get you on your back. And if I get you on your back, it's uphill sledding from there. I think if he comes out with the aggression I expect, it could be a finish because I could see him landing something strong, submitting him, or landing something strong and just going for the finish, right? If Sean Strickland is honest in his assessment of how this fight's going to go, or is proven right in his assessment of how this fight's going to go, where he could stuff the takedown, stuff his wrestling attempts, and put shots downrange on him, I think we're going to have to see Sean be the aggressor. Because if Khamzat can't get him on the ground, Khamzat's not going to stand across and throw jabs and try to enter his range without making it a strictly grappling exchange.
Yeah.
I just don't think the direction of the fight lends to much benefits to how Sean likes to fight. He's going to have to try to beat Chimaev at the things he does well, and it's not going to really play into his skill set. And I think Chimaev, again, with all the tools that he has, is being overlooked for, again, especially his striking. And I think he can catch Sean with something because it's going to be, again, completely worried on takedown defense. Everybody knows it, right? So give me Chimaev by finish. I think this ends within 3 rounds. And I think it's Chimaev. What the heck? Why are there 2 of you now?
I don't know, because I'm just that good.
It literally still has your disconnected call right here in the middle. Now there's 2 paused you. Okay, we got rid of one of those. But now you're paused. All
How's
right, you're
that?
back.
Yeah.
You're back.
Okay.
Let's hear your take.
My take on this fight? Okay. If the Fluffy Hernandez fight never takes place, then there is never a question as to whether who most people think Chimaev is going to win or not. I think the Fluffy Hernandez fight and the fact that Fluffy could not get Sean to the ground, try as he may, really opened a lot of people's eyes into believing that Sean Strickland has high level grappling. Fluffy's grappling is great. He's got one of the best MMA grappling styles that I know of. He looked so much smaller than Sean Strickland in that fight. I said earlier that Chimaev's gas tank will not be a problem in this fight. I believe that. A lot of people are still giving grief to Hamzat, and they're saying that if this fight goes to the third and fourth round, then Strickland definitely has the advantage because Hamzat's going to die off. No, he's not. No, he's not. I've been watching footage of him and Armin and Aaron Pico and now Khalil Roundtree and TJ Dillashaw back in the day, EPO or whatever.
Whatever he
Who
used to
cares? Whatever he
supplement.
used. You can't say that came from Coach Kyle at all. There's too many other fighters in there. Juan Archuleta. These guys don't die they don't die off as the match goes on to a significant degree. They're very much in shape. They're very much healthy. His one problem was overtraining. Coach Kyle does not allow him to overtrain like that. Cardio is not going to be an issue with him in this fight. It was with Burns. It was with Usman. It's not going to be this time. It was not with Duplessis. It will not be with Sean Strickland. I actually watched footage because some footage dropped of Sean Strickland and Chimaev sparring. And I think somebody just released it with Chimaev being very much aggressive and Sean Strickland very much the way Sean Strickland fights. They were just sparring on their feet. They weren't doing takedowns. Sean Strickland did not get hit really at all. However, there were about 3 times Chimaev came forward, and those legs were there to him to take. Those legs were there. I do not think Sean Strickland is going to be able to withhold that. You're not talking about Fluffy Hernandez. You're talking about the Swedish national champion. You say what you want about Sweden not being as big as the U.S. or even as big as Russia or whatever. It's still pretty high level when you get into the national championship range. It's pretty good. He trains with some of the best people in the world. He goes to their places and trains, which is how him and Sean Strickland got together to begin with. If he wants to stand on his feet and fight, I do think Sean Strickland wins that fight if Chimaev just doesn't wrestle. But I don't think Sean Strickland is going to have a significant size advantage over Chimaev where he did over Aaron Hernandez. And I think that Anthony, sorry. I do think that that's a big mix up, isn't it? Those are 2 completely different people.
I don't know if Aaron Hernandez would have been outsized. And we know he got that instinct. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Chimaev is not going to be able to take him in a straight shot for shot fight. He's got power, but he's not as put together with his hands. He doesn't have the high level striking. Sean Strickland is going to be a level, if not levels, above Chimaev in that. But the way that you said he's coming aggressive, the way Chimaev is going to win this fight is he's going to come aggressive but he's not coming aggressive for a fist fight. He's coming aggressive to take you down. And that's completely different than, say, McGregor Aldo, where McGregor talked all that smack. Aldo came storming in. What does Aldo do? Aldo fights with his hands. Aldo's throwing a Hail Mary right off the gate and getting caught. Chimaev is going to fake the overhand, and he's going to go in for that single leg on Sean's left leg, which sticks forward. He's going to get it. He's going to scoop it up. He's going to take him to the ground. First 30 seconds. It's going to be a fake overhand right. He's going to fake the overhand right. He's going to put his left hand out, and he's going to dive on that left leg and spin around the side of him, and he's going to have Sean Strickland's back in the first 30 seconds. That's what's going to happen in this fight. And if Chimaev wants it to go 5 rounds, it'll go 5 rounds. If he wants it to go a minute and a half, it'll go a minute and a half.
Okay.
As soon as he gets that back and he can hold him down, it will be up to Chimaev. Now, maybe Sean Strickland gets up the first time or the second time, but this fight is going to be up to Chimaev. There's one prayer for Sean Strickland, and that's that Chimaev decides to prove something to stand and trade with him. If he can goad him into doing that, which he's trying to, if he can goad him into doing that, then he can do it. Now, I respect Sean Strickland's wrestling defense, especially after the Fluffy fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to show me he's got a higher level for me to respect it against Chimaev. If I'm Chimaev, I'm doing exactly what I said. Kevin Holland fight, if Kevin Holland doesn't go for the hand touch, maybe he doesn't get it that fast, but I think it's the same shot. It's the same shot.
It didn't matter. He's getting it anyway.
And I don't think, seeing Chimaev and Strickland go back and forth, you can tell when Chimaev goes forward, even though he doesn't land any shots, that leg is right there. He could have just reached down and picked it up. It's right there.
Yeah.
And Sean Strickland changing the style of fight is only going to work against him. So he can't change his style of fight too much because he's not going to be well versed in it. He's got to keep his style of fight. Unfortunately, his style of fight is working to Chimaev's advantage. And Chimaev is going to take him now first 30 seconds. And that's going to be it. It'll be all Chimaev all day after that, unless he decides he wants to stand and trade with Strickland, and then all bets are off if he does that.
I think that's a good place to end it. I like your call out of how that could shape up. I think aggression is the one thing that we do agree on. I think he's going to close the distance no matter what happens.
Yeah.
I think the ability for Sean to kind of get his teep going and his little rock and, his little Philly, like his little shoulder shuffle and all that.
Yeah.
I think that distance is going to be so closed because I think Chimaev is going to be right up on him that I don't know how much that is going to be effective. I'm just excited for a very good UFC 328 card.
Yeah.
I feel like top to bottom, built it out. They fleshed it out a little bit more. Without the Van fight, it was a little bit light, but now it's a really, really good card.
Yeah, I think it's a great card.
Yeah, and we're in for a big one, man. I'm excited to come back and potentially review it. I'm not forcing the reviews anymore. I don't think we should, but if it's a fantastic card, heck yeah, we come in and review it. Maybe we review the best fights on it. I know next week that card is not filled with too much big ones, so maybe we got Allen versus Mezikiel Costa. We could do a review of the last one, but there's some fighters on here. Now that I'm peeking at it, nothing crazy, but we have a Cody Brundage appearance
again.
We have Jacqueline Cavalcanti appearance. She's been on a bit of a tear. We have Belado Bukowskis.
Yep, that's the one right there.
It.
That's the underrated fight of the whole thing, I think.
We got Will Maker trying to make a comeback and be in the front of people's minds again. Obviously, Arnold Allen and Mezikiel Costa.
Jeremiah Wells and Dalby's going to be a good one.
Yep, that should be a firefight as well. But we will definitely have to come back and review and see what Sean Strickland got after or what Chimaev did. If we are retired because Walter Acosta did what he was supposed to do.
Hey.
and excited to cover it, man. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please check in with us. Comment. You guys have been tuning into them, and we appreciate it. And we will definitely catch y'all on the next one.
Yep.
But until then, peace.
Later.